Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all.
All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store.
This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, first story up. We're not really getting into politics like that, but we're going to talk about these tariffs because it's been tariff talk. It's been tariff talk all week, all month, hell, all year. We've been talking about these tariffs that YSAP is going to or has already started imposing on Canada, Mexico. China's been pulled into the bag as well. And, everybody is just kind of trying to figure out where these tariffs are going to land us. Now, first of all, if you don't know what a tariff is basically taxes that are placed on importing and sometimes exporting goods. Okay. If they are not in a trade agreement with the United States, or if they're not in a trade agreement that YSAP and his junk drawer feels is appropriate, he is now going after places where he feels that the current trade agreement, or this whole free trade, or just the fact that they're sending goods over here, they're making more money than the United States, as we are buying goods that are not made here in these United States. So tariffs are placed because they're trying to force the American people to buy from the U.S. and not goods that are imported from somewhere else. I'm sure most of you guys know that we as Americans purchase a lot of goods overseas, okay? It even had gotten to the point where people were saying that things that were made in America weren't even as good, weren't even as well made as things that were made overseas, okay? It started to get the reputation that goods that were made here in the United States are like the cheaper version of things, and that it's probably better to get it from somewhere else. Now, that might be true in some cases, not so true in other cases. Yet and still, everybody is getting affected, because if the shit is coming from overseas, it's getting taxed. YSAP seems to believe that this is going to help our tremendous debt that this country has. He feels that the current, the fact that these countries are able to send goods into our country and make more money than we are, well, that's a problem. Well, that has been an argument for a long time. So I guess now they're deciding to do something about it. Now, the problem with tariffs are that the American people are the ones, or the purchaser, the consumer is the person that really bears the most of that tax, because usually if the United States imposes taxes on China, all that these Chinese vendors or suppliers are going to do is raise the prices for the people that are purchasing the thing. So it's still going to turn out that the consumer is the person that is paying, that is absorbing this charge. So I think YSAP is hoping that this is going to strong arm a lot of people into coming to the table to negotiate these trade agreements and things like that. And there are some economists that feel that he is incorrect in that way of thinking. And depending on how high the tariff is, or depending on how high the tax is, it could really kind of throw the price out of whack and make it unaffordable for a lot of people. For example, the auto industry, they're saying they have been begging YSAP to do something about these trades, because the cars that come from overseas, they're going to be paying a lot of extra money. I think because did he say it was 25%? It was like 25% across the board or something like that. I'm not sure if that number has changed. I think it was 25% for Canada and Mexico, and then it was 10% for China. Not really sure if those numbers are still holding or, what it is. All we know, if there's definitely some tariffs and taxes that's going on right now. China then got so frustrated with WhatsApp and all this back and forth when it comes to these trades that they've said, listen, we ready for whatever. Okay, whatever the motherfucker want to bring, we gonna bring it to them back. All right, it can be a trade war, it can be a tariff war, it can be a cold war, it can be a civil war, a nuclear war, world war. They didn't say all that. Just all they said was tariff or trade. But I'm just like, it makes you feel, when you start hearing about China and shit, you start getting worried because, we don't always have the best relationship with some parts of Asia. And, we just gonna sit back and watch. Again, this is all stuff that we should have known that was happening. It was all well documented. Kamala spoke about it, and I believe that it was in those Project 2025 paperwork. I mean, it was all there. He's just doing what he said he was going to do, y'all. So, yeah, that's basically it. WhatsApp says that the fact that they have raised the tariffs on these different countries, that will force these other companies in other countries to raise their prices, and that will make it harder for them to sell their product abroad or here over in the United States. And, he says that it will make things uncomfortable, is the word that he used, uncomfortable for some people for a while. But then things will get back to, things will work itself out and everything will be good. I think that, ideally everything will work itself out. And everybody is either going to just get accustomed to paying a higher price, or they're just not going to buy the things. We'll see how it all works out in the end. But in the long run, they're saying that this will be better for the country. In the short run, though, people got to deal with these high prices and the fact that they laying off everybody. Folks ain't got jobs, ain't got money. The economy is not exactly in the most... I think that WhatsApp's whole way of thinking is it got to be done at some point. It's going to be uncomfortable and messed up for everybody at some point if we do it now or 20 years later or 50 years later. So we might as well do it now. I'm sure that is their way of thinking. Like, yes, everybody is going to have a fit, but they was going to have a fit anytime. We'll just have to see how it works out, y'all. But that's basically what is happening here. Everybody is getting affected in this, because if it's affecting our market, then it's definitely affecting the Chinese market. It's definitely affecting Canadian market and Mexico's market. Everybody is getting affected here. It's just depending on who's getting affected the worst. I think that most economists, strategists that have been talking about it are worried about the fact that it's going to promote retaliation amongst other countries, that they're going to want to come after the United States in other ways, or maybe even in this trade war, to make it up, to make things bad for the U.S. as well. So that's where it places us in like this kind of weird space, because while the heads of states are all arguing over money and everything, us lowly, just regular constituents, people here that have to purchase and buy things, we're the ones that are being affected. Okay, it kind of just has that feel like you're getting pulled and pushed and pulled around. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the talk of the tariffs. That's where we stand with it. WhatsApp is saying that he don't care. Y'all gonna pay extra if you want to sell your shit here. I don't know if this has anything to do with the tariffs and everything, but Mr. told me that he went to Costco the other day. And he was like, Roxanne, it was nothing in the produce section. I know we don't get produce from overseas, but he was like, it was like literally empty. It was nothing there. And they said that it was because of the issues that the farmers are having getting their produce and all of that. So even though this is nothing related probably to the tariffs, I just feel like all of it is a trickle down, some kind of which way. Okay, why we ain't got no damn produce? What's happening with the farmers is having a hard time getting their damn crops and all that. It's just bad everywhere, y'all. It's bad everywhere. Have you guys noticed the difference in prices? I definitely noticed the difference in eggs this week. Of course it would be 3 fire trucks driving by. Of course, when I'm doing a video. I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, that's what I was about to say. I did buy some eggs this week because, we don't eat eggs that much. So I only buy them every couple of weeks or whatever. But y'all, I bought the little 18 pack of eggs. That motherfucker was $9. I was like, what? Bitch, what? I bet y'all won't be buying eggs like that again. Only reason why I'm buying them is because I know Mr. likes eggs. I mean, I like eggs too, but not to the tune of no damn $9. Shit. $9. Do you know that's 50 cents? That I pay 50 cents an egg? Oh, what the fuck is going on, y'all? Anyway, that's that on that. Let's move on off of this and let's move on to the next story. Well, before we get to the gossip, let's talk about Kroger CEO Roger McMullen. He's resigned from his $15.3 million annual job, being the CEO of the Kroger grocery store. The Kroger company is Kroger, Ralph's. It's a whole big conglomerate that they all own. Anyway, yeah, Roger McMullen has resigned. They said that he was... They haven't given an official reason why the man has resigned. They only said that it was because he went against some business practices and ethics. Okay. I'm assuming that that's going to be some sort of form of harassment, probably of the sexual kind. We'll hear more about that story as it goes. But anyway, this man has given up his salary. He also has given up $11 million in stocks and trade options and bonuses. Now, the man is extremely rich. He's been working for Kroger for 10 years. They've given him, he's had stock options that he has. So he owns like 6.6 million stock trade. What is the word? He owns 6.6 million shares. That's the word. Nigga, just don't overthink it, Roxanne. Just read what it say here. It says that he has 6.6 million shares, and that that's basically about 10% of the company's shares right now. So yeah, he's still quite paid. Okay. They said that his stake in Kroger shares was worth about $412 million. So yes, a lot of money here. Even though he has resigned and all, he's still quite rich. But we're gonna see if the reason that he's been forced to resign, or he's chosen to resign, we're gonna see if that lands him in legal trouble. Okay, 'cause you can have all the money in the world, but baby, if it lands you in jail, then what good does it do you? Okay, so we'll see what happens with Mr. Man there. But yeah, boy, that is rich people problems. All that money I just talked about, $11 million in stocks and trade options, and 6.6 million shares, and $412 million, and $15.3 million in salary. Yes, a lot of money. All that is so way above my pay grade. But all I do know is if Roger McMullen was out there doing what he wasn't supposed to be doing, he might be finding himself parted ways with some of them coins. Okay, especially if somebody be suing for some money. So we'll see. But so far, that's all they done told us about it. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next story. All right, you guys, this story about Caleb Wilson is a very sad story. I'm sure you guys know about it last week. It was all over social media. The young man, I think he was 20 years old. He belonged to the Human Beatbox band there at Southern University. That is the alma mater of Joe and Mr. and my friend Simone. You know, they all went to Southern as well. Southern stays in trouble on campus with these sororities and fraternities. I feel like when Joe was there, they were on suspension, and they were not able, like the full 4 years that I think that Joe was there, they were not able to have any sorority or fraternity, activity on campus or anything. They couldn't practice. That's probably not the right word, but I don't know what the word is, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, they couldn't say that, they couldn't have a line open for people to be pledging or anything, because they had been in trouble in the past because of hazing and things. But they must have opened it recently, only for them to probably shut that shit back down again, because Caleb Wilson was a young man who was pledging for the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, and they were hazing him. The original story that we got was that they were out at a park one evening. So they were off campus at a park one evening, and they said that he just collapsed. Okay, that was the story that they gave. I think most people did not believe that. Most people know that these fraternities and sororities are mostly fraternities now, but they're big still on hazing and doing things like that. So we kind of knew that it was going to be a fishy story there. Now the true story has come out, or maybe truer than the one that they gave us originally. Now they're saying that they actually were in an abandoned warehouse, and that they had the guys lined up that were pledging, and that they were punching them in the chest. So each of the prospect or the pledgers, it's not the right word, I'm gonna say prospects. So each of the prospects, they had them lined up and they were punching them in the chest. And so when they, when they got to Caleb, they punched him in his chest, and, you can knock your heartbeat rhythm off from a punch in the chest. You may have an undiagnosed, you had absolutely no idea that you might even have a heart issue. You could have been born with it. It could have developed over the years and you just are unaware. And a blow like a punch to the chest could kill you. Okay, and they found out that that's exactly what happened with Caleb. They punched him in his chest. They said that he collapsed and that he started to have a seizure on the ground, that they got worried. They rushed him to the hospital. He ended up dying later at the hospital. They said that the guys that were involved, that there's a number of people that are involved. They haven't charged anybody yet, but they're probably just trying to figure out exactly who did what. The people that were there, that were involved, they had all got together and met and tried to line up their stories. And that's why they originally said that they was at a park and, he just collapsed. But then, of course, that confidentiality, that story that, they came up with is not going to hold. People are afraid. People realize that they might have done something wrong or something. Somebody is going to talk. And that's exactly what happened. So now definitely some charges are going to happen. They just haven't happened yet. But if I was any of them young men that were out there, I would be worried. I would know that is something that's coming down the pike. In the meantime, I just wish that these sororities and fraternities would stop hazing. Stop hazing. Even though it doesn't happen as much as it used to, it still is not worth it. You done killed this boy, okay, who was just starting off on life and things. And not only is that person dead, but the people that was involved in this whole hazing situation, now they got legal problems and totally threw off the second half of their life because of just one stupid decision. So yeah, they need to stop doing that hazing. They just need to stop. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. Prayers up for the Wilson family, friends, the people there up at Southern, out there in Louisiana and all that. It's just I just wish they would stop doing that. Okay. We haven't heard much about the black fraternities in a while. It hasn't been black fraternities in a while, but you best believe that they still doing it. They just ain't had a problem lately. But this is a reminder. Cut that shit out. Let's move on to the next story. All right, you guys. So Amber Rose, she was on Shannon Sharp's show, Club Shay Shay. And you guys know that that show is where we like to air our grievances and we like to tell of all of our business and get everybody all riled up. And Amber's visit will be no different. Because while she was there, they were having a conversation about the fight that she and Joseline had on College Hill, the celebrity edition. Remember, they were all on there together. And, you know, she was telling us that BET did not show like the entire situation of why they were fighting to begin with. She said that BET just tried to make it seem like they were fighting over the fact that Joseline had called her a black girl or whatever. But she was like, that is not what happened. She said basically Joseline wanted to have sex with her, had propositioned her about it, would always be in her ear trying to say like, come on, just give me one chance. It'll be fun. And, you know, my husband will let us do it and he'll watch, you know, and, you know, please just give me a chance. And Amber was like, I was very nice. And I told her like, that's just not, I'm not interested. Okay. She's flattered, but not interested. She's heterosexual. She has no interest. She said that she would bend over in front of her and coochie out, and she said her coochie was loud. I'm just telling y'all what she said. She said it was loud, y'all. I'm not sure if she meant that it stunk or if it was just big and in her face loud, or, you know, coochie fumes. You know, when you be twerking and shit, that heat get to going and all that slapping and rubbing together and stuff and fumes. So I'm not sure what the loud is. She just said it was loud. And she said that was the reason why when they were in class and they were talking about white people, then all of a sudden Joseline was like, and she don't like white people, but she like Amber, you know, because Amber is black. And Amber was like, and I am a mixed race girl and I'm the only mixed race girl in there. And everybody in there like turned around and looked at me. I was like, that's an exaggeration. I'm sure everybody didn't turn around and look at you. But I still do understand what she's saying, you know, when she's saying that Joseline is basically being insulting in her face and saying, you know, what she's saying. And that's how the argument started. So she was just like, well, why you don't want to say you a black girl? And you guys know how Amber feels about making sure that she claims both sides of her race. Okay. So that is how the fight got started. Now, I am, as much as I love Joseline, I know y'all probably saw that I just said recently on a post on Shade Room, I was like, y'all can never make me hate her, because you cannot. I do really love Joseline. Like, she has a special place in my heart. However, just like we know our kids, we got to know the people that we love too. And I am 100% sure that it probably went down exactly the way that Amber said. Even though Joseline has come out and said, you know, I don't appreciate this. I am a wife. I am a mother. I'm kind of a little rusty on my Joseline, but yeah, Joseline say that she didn't do that. I said, Joseline, now you know good and dang on well that that's pretty much on brand. That's pretty much on it. She's on point for how you would behave, even if we wasn't there. Okay, I still do believe that Amber is probably not lying on this one. Okay, and that Joseline probably said and did exactly those things that she said and she did. Okay, and that's how they ended up in that fight. Yeah, I do believe it. Even with Joseline putting out that long chat GPT statement that she put out, I was like, Joseline, you don't even know half these words, girl. You know, and then you know, we found out that Amber even beat up Joseline. Okay, so I was just like, girl, just take the L. Just take the L and go. Like Amber said, like, just take it. Amber had to take the L when she made everybody believe that she got beat up. Amber was like, I didn't get beat up. Okay, but you know, everybody on social media thought that because that's the way they edited it. And so I had to take an L back then, and so she can just take this L right now. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like that worked out well too. But yeah, no, I definitely I believe everything that she says. I can see that Joseline probably did have it for Amber for a minute, and she did not know that Amber was going to react to her the way that she did. Okay, and so then it turned out to be like a well, fuck you then, bitch, kind of thing. Okay, and then proceeded to get your ass whooped. So that's that on that. Joseline say she gonna reach out to her lawyers. We gonna see. I said, Joseline, girl, you just over there talking, girl. I understand. You just talking, though. You ain't gonna do nothing. Nothing's gonna come of that, you guys. Did you guys watch that interview with Club Shay Shay with Amber and Shannon? I just saw one little clip, and he was just like, "You not a man, you a woman. You don't like women like that. So that's why you didn't want to do nothing with her." I was just like, I don't know how people watch him. I don't know how y'all watch him. Oh my God. Anyway, that's that on that, y'all. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Do you believe Amber? Do you believe Joseline? Yeah, I believe Amber. Joseline's still my girl, though, but I believe Amber. We do this every single week, so make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.